friends, I'm Rhiannon from Drawn by Rhiannon, and this is Goodbye for real this time. So, as you can probably see, I am not in the studio. I am currently in an Airbnb in Greece. So, for a little background information, in case some of you don't follow me on social media, basically I've made the decision to close the business down. So there's a few different reasons for this. And if you saw my video about this time last year when I was saying goodbye for now, then you might understand sort of where I'm coming from for this. So basically, last year I took some time away from the business, I went traveling, and I just had the absolute best time. I thought the time away from the business would give me some more sort of inspiration to get really back in love with the business. But what it did was make me fall in love with traveling instead. Um, so one of the reasons why I went traveling in the first place was because I'd been doing the business for a long time. I'd been full time with it for about 3 years at this point, and it had just got to the point where it was very sort of monotonous. It was a lot of just doing the same thing every day. It was just mostly sewing, because it got to that point where I just needed to make so much stock in order to sell enough stock to make it enough money for it to be my full-time job. So basically all the time I was just sewing, very little else was going on, and I just kind of fallen out of love with the business and sort of why I'd started it in the first place. Because the main reason I started it was for my love of fabric design, and I honestly couldn't remember the last time that I had just done design for fun, where I'd really enjoyed drawing and had like lots of inspiration for drawing and everything. So yeah, I thought last year, let's have a break from the business. Let's just take some time away because it's sort of all involving when you run your own business, and it can just become a lot. You can sort of lose sight of everything else in your life. So I thought having some time away, just taking a step back, then I could come back to it fresh. I thought that would be the best thing for the business. However, that didn't exactly happen. I really thought that I would miss running the business. I thought I'd be like really raring to go when I came back to it. But I came back in October to do all the Christmas markets. And I do love doing markets. I love getting out there and talking to you. But I sat back down that first day back to work in the studio and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It was quite a very definite no, this is done. So that was a bit of a difficult decision to come to because I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't know what else to do with my life. So I thought maybe I could just go back to doing it part time because I did it part time for a lot of years. And I think having that balance of it not being your entire life, I thought maybe that would be the best way to go with it. So I was originally thinking that maybe I would get a part-time job and maybe do some sort of summer work because in the business it's very much the run up to Christmas is the biggest time for the business. Like I'm sure a lot of small businesses are the same. So I thought maybe if I could get a summer job because it's quite sort of touristy where I live, that that would sort of supplement the income and I wouldn't be so sort of stressed about trying to keep the sales up all throughout the year, which is quite tough to be honest. And then yeah, just do markets at Christmas. So sort of weighing this up, I was like, yeah, that could work, I guess. Um, and then I was doing the Christmas markets, and I have to say that like 2023 was the hardest year of Christmas markets I've ever had. Bearing in mind, I think this was my 8th year of doing Christmas markets, and this was just by far the most difficult. Because every year the cost of the stalls go up, everything, the price of everything goes up. But I really noticed this year how much the rising cost of living had impacted people. and it was just so difficult to get the sales. And I completely understand, like everything I make, yes, it's all pretty and lovely, but it's not necessary the majority of it. So I completely understand why you might be thinking, oh, I'm not gonna, maybe just not gonna get gifts this year. Maybe we'll just go out for a meal together instead. Or if you would, usually maybe treat yourself a little bit, you'd be cutting back on that. I completely understand. But when it is your main income, that is slightly worrying. And yeah, it was just really hard work, and it just wasn't like markets are always hard work. It takes a lot out of you, but I was just absolutely drained after these. It was just really tough, and it didn't have that same kind of like fun, chill, like excited atmosphere that you would usually have. So yeah, it got to the sort of halfway through the Christmas season, and I was like, I just, I just don't want to do this anymore. I think when you've sort of, because you really have to give it your all with a small business. You have to just be so passionate about it, and if you kind of lost that passion for it, and you just really want to be doing something else, it is really hard to sort of slog through all these really long days and not be making much money. So yeah, that's sort of when I took the decision to just do something completely different. And yeah, I was just sat in my house one day, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know what to do. I really just always in the back of my mind, I was like, I just don't want to be here. I just want to be traveling. Like, I absolutely love that. That's my main passion in life right now. And I was sat in my house. Like, I love my house. I moved there like 6 years ago. It really feels like home. But after having lived out of a suitcase for a year, I was like, I don't need all this stuff. I don't need all this space. When I got back from traveling, I went through my house and got rid of a load of stuff because I was like, I just don't need all of this. And I was just sat in my living room one evening, and I was like quite low at this point because I just didn't know what to do. And I was like, oh, what if I just sold my house and went traveling? And like the thought of that was like really terrifying because I was like, you can't sell your house. This is where you live. Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? But at the same time, like there was this huge weight lifted off my shoulders. And I was like, you know what? That is the right thing to do. So, fast forward to the new year, and I had already decided that I was going to go traveling at the start of the year because, like, the start of the year, I'm sure a lot of other small businesses can relate. It's very quiet. People are sort of trying to recoup after Christmas. So, January, February, March, even, it's a pretty quiet time of year. So, I already knew that I was wanting to go traveling somewhere. Um, and I was originally planning on going to the Philippines and South Korea and Japan, and that is definitely something that I plan to do in the future. But being me, I had some gigs booked, and I didn't quite have enough time to go all the way over there, do what I wanted, and come back in time for the gigs. So I decided just to stay within Europe at the start of the year, which actually tied in really nicely because at the start of the year I put my house on the market. So I thought it would take a couple of months to sell, and sort of just planning out what travels I was thinking of. I had always planned to be back in the UK for the month of June, so I was like, oh, that works out perfectly then. If it takes a couple of months to sell, and then it always takes like a few months to go through, then we can get it all done in June. I can box everything up, and originally I had planned to move into just like a small place down the road just to have like a little base. But yeah, things never go as you plan, and the house actually sold in 3 days, and I don't have anywhere to move into, so I just took that as the universe's way of telling me that now is the time to just drop everything and be a nomad for a bit. So, hence why I'm currently in a lovely Airbnb in Greece. I am on the start of my adventures, and yeah, this is going to be me for a little while. I've closed the website down. That is officially shut now. The domain runs out in April, I think it is. So there is technically still a web page there, but you can't buy anything off it. But after April, it will be gone forever. You won't be able to buy stuff online anymore. And then I'm just going to just do the odd market now and again when I'm back in the UK, basically because I've still got some stock left. So just to sell off the rest of that. So I do actually have a market booked in for April, which is going to be interesting because I'm hoping to officially hand over my keys to my house the day after that market. So it's going to be a bit of a speedy turnaround. I hadn't even thought about putting my house on the market when I applied for that market. So, yes, these things happen. But yes, that is my only market that I've got booked in currently because basically I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. So, I will at some point be doing some more markets to sell off the rest of the stock. But for now, I don't know when those are going to be. I don't know where those are going to be. So, yeah, it's all a very exciting adventure at the moment. The current plans are I'm going to be traveling around Europe for a few months, and then after that, going to Central America. And then after that, I have no idea. So, we will see what the universe wants to throw at me. But I just have to say, I'm so excited. It's obviously a little bit bittersweet closing the business because I have been running it for nearly 8 years now. And I've put so much work into it. And I have to say, it was really quite sad when I was closing down the website and like packing up the studio and everything. That was quite sad because it was just sort of a reminder of how much time and effort and money and everything I put into the business. But yeah, I wanted to sort of draw a line under it before I just started hating it, basically. And yeah, I just want to, that was my dream for a long time. I always wanted to run my own business, and it was amazing that I got to run my own business and that it was my full time income for 3.5, 4 years, something like that. That's amazing. And I've learned so much. I've met so many lovely people. Like the small business community in the Northeast is just so welcoming, so wholesome, and yeah, I can't thank everyone enough. All the friends that I've made through it in this time, it's been so lovely getting to know you all, and of course, getting to know all you lovely customers. And I just can't thank you enough for supporting me, for buying things that I've made, or for interacting on social media. Honestly, it's yeah, it was really amazing to have that opportunity. So thank you so much. But it is time for a new adventure. It is time for a new dream to chase. So that is what I am currently doing. I've had quite a lot of people asking if I'm going to be sharing stuff about my travels on my business page. Originally, I had no intention of doing that because obviously it's not remotely business related, and I was just going to, share it on my personal Instagram. But I have made a lot of friends through the business, like I say, and I feel like a lot of customers are sort of like quite involved now. So I thought I might share the odd thing on social media. So apologies if you're not remotely interested in travel. If you want to unfollow, unsubscribe, that's absolutely fine. But for those of you who are interested in the travel content, then there might be some little reels and shorts and things like that coming up. But yeah, this is my last proper full length YouTube video. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, and just wanted to give a little bit of an explanation about what's going on in case you don't follow me on social media. And yeah, I hope you're all doing really well. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much, and goodbye.